What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Tuesday's Playing with Power. I'm your host, Max Power. I will be streaming the Nintendo Switch Online service tonight. I have recently just done my updates. I've downloaded the classic software for Nintendo Switch Online. We're going to take a look at the classic games, I guess, that are offered on Nintendo's online service, and we're going to test tonight to test the waters and see, is it really worth your $20 a year? There's a lot of mixed reactions coming from Nintendo Switch Online, as well as a lot of people saying it's not worth it, that it is worth it, that, you know, it's back and forth. Before we get started, while I'm letting the room fill, I'm just going to give my 2 cents. I think the Nintendo Switch Online is more catered and geared towards the retro end of things. When we talk about the online play, we discuss a lot of... First off, there's no online servers as of yet. Everything the Nintendo Switch has done on to date, and all their systems have done online, is what's called peer-to-peer. Meaning there's no dedicated servers. You're feeding off of somebody's internet connection. So you're not really paying for servers. The other gripe people have is the voice chat. We're not going to use the voice chat app tonight because I'm not running that through my phone service. We're not going to be doing any of that nonsense. Basically, the way it works is that you have to hook into your phone system and do your voice chat through that. There is no wired voice chat or team chat from your Nintendo Switch through a headset. You have to hook up a headset apparently through your phone in the online app and communicate that way. And if you get a text message, if you get a phone call, if you get anything like that, it disconnects. Apparently, it is a nightmare. I have never tried it, nor do I have an interest in trying it. What we're basically looking at tonight is the Switch online service that it's offering through its NES games that apparently can be played online now. You can stream these games online and play with other people. So I'm really curious how that's going to work, how well it works. So we're going to dig into those. And that's kind of where I'm thinking the $20 a year justifies itself. What I'm comparing it to is what virtual console games used to cost on other consoles. When you look at the Wii, when you look at the Wii U, 3DS, typically they run from $5 to $7. With SNES games being more, Nintendo 64 games being more, and whatnot on other systems. But with 20 games accessible, kind of like a Netflix service at launch, that's where I'm justifying the $20 and saying, for $20 a year, I don't mind paying that so long as it works. That's what we're going to test tonight, and that's what we're going to look into. The other argument is that you have to sign in. I believe it's on a weekly basis to verify. It's either weekly or monthly. I believe it may be monthly, where you have to verify your Nintendo Switch Online account so that Nintendo can keep giving you the games. I do understand that. Spotify does the same thing with their service. I know that if I sign offline with my Spotify account, I have to sign back in within 1 month in order to verify that I still have a membership. So I do get that aspect. And, you know, so you're kind of renting these games. You don't own them, but it's the same with a music service. It's the same with anything else, and that's kind of the grain of salt I'm taking. So without further ado, let's jump into the Nintendo Entertainment System catalog for Switch Online. Let's play some classic games. Let's see how they run. If you're not a follower of the channel yet, make sure you hit that follow button. As you can see below, this Friday I'm giving away a pair of Beats headphones to one lucky follower as a way of saying thank you for stopping by and spending your time on my channel. Friday is also our Retro Request live stream. Any retro game, any retro console, make sure to get your requests in on the chat, or over at Instagram or Twitter at RealMaxPower, or on my Facebook page, RealMaxPower, where I post all of my contests, all of my stream information. Everything I'm doing is kind of left on that fan page and up to date. Without further ado, let's get started. Nintendo Entertainment System, Switch Online. And let's just see if this is worth your $20 a year, shall we? Okay, so right off the bat, now I haven't gone into this yet. This is still fresh for me. I'm playing this for the first time. I literally installed it just before starting the stream. So play online. You can play multiplayer games online with a friend. You can also play single player while waiting for a friend to join you. Okay, so that's not bad. So they can join. You don't have to set it up beforehand. You can communicate using voice chat if you have a Nintendo Switch Online app. Boo earns. Let's try a play online. Let's see what NES games we can play online. Can I play games online without a friend is the real question, because that's kind of what I was hoping to do here. I know Balloon Fight is an online game, so let's check that out. Minus is to navigate in-game menus, confirm. Okay, so it looks like if I can't, this doesn't have matchmaking. Like, that's kind of what I'm hoping for here, was that there's a sense of matchmaking, and it doesn't look like it. ZLZR is there's no matchmaking. You can play multiplayer games online with a friend. You can play single player while waiting for a friend to join you. So there's no matchmaking. Okay, I don't care about that stuff. So right off the bat, I'm going to say right now, I don't like that. I thought this was going to be matchmaking. I thought that you could basically pick a game, and if you wanted to play online, similar to games like Call of Duty or any other game that has matchmaking, you could basically go into games like even pro wrestling here, ice hockey, and randomly be connected with somebody who wants to play online. And it doesn't appear that you can do that. You have to have these people in your friends list. So unless your friends have Nintendo Switch Online, you're basically just playing NES ROMs. Like, I'm not sure how much I like that. And this is the problem I had, was Nintendo Direct really did a bad job of laying out how all of this was working, how it was going to work. I don't know how excited I am about that. Let me just check and see while we're in here. Do I have any friends online? No one is online. Nope. No, go back. Go back. I don't have anybody online, so there's no way for me to test this out. I mean, the games so far, like Balloon Fight there, seem to run okay. Let's try, I don't know, a random game. I guess Double Dragon? So the games launch pretty quick, which is nice. I'm curious. I'm using my two Joy-Con, whatever the not dog bone, whatever they call the Joy-Con grip controller, I guess they call it. There's no lag input, which is nice. I'm curious. Okay, so you can use the arrow buttons as well as the thumbstick. So you can use the full 360 thumbstick as well as if you prefer directional buttons. Nintendo is selling. They're going to be selling a pair of NES controllers that dock onto the system like Joy-Cons for if you want to play local 2-player. Can I not get rid of this menu at the bottom? Create suspend point. Okay, so you can do not cloud saves, suspend points in your games. Reset continue to game selection. So I know it's a little gripe. I don't like that. I don't like it saying select button, start button, and suspend menu on the bottom all the time. I don't know, Nintendo. You're making it really hard for me to like what you're offering. I mean, again, these games are going to be updated regularly. They're saying we're getting other games by the end of the year, some of which, I believe... Well, Dr. Mario was in there. There is a list. I haven't really studied the list verbatim to memorize every game that's coming out by the end of the year. But you're getting on average, again, 3 games a month by the looks of it on the service. And, hang on, let's pick up this barrel. 3 games per month. And again, they run pretty smooth. Like, there's no... If there's one gripe I ever had with systems like the Wii U, it's that when you played classic games on the Wii U, classic games on the Wii U had lag issues. I know anytime I try to play even the original Super Mario Brothers, like you'd try to run and jump and they'd jump half a second later kind of thing. The lag and latency was really bad. This is pretty responsive, so I'll give it that. I'll give it a point for that. It's pretty solid emulation, and again, to have this on the go, even if it's 7 days you have to check in, 7 days realistically isn't that bad. If you're not going to be around an internet connection for 7 days, I mean, it is what it is, but most people are around some form of a Wi-Fi connection within 7-day periods that they can re-sign in, they can get everything changed, and there's a lot of people complaining about it that Nintendo may change that so that it's more like PSN where it has a date in the internal system that knows when to stop allowing you access. I mean, it's Double Dragon, right? Like it's for on-the-go games, again, the problem Nintendo's done, if they did like Xbox Live or PlayStation Network where they charged exuberant amounts, like $60 plus a year for this service, it would be an instant flop. The reason this is going to take off and the reason that I think people are going to stick with this per se is solely because of the games, because they're going to have games on the go. If this is what Emu Paradise got shut down for, I don't know how happy I am about that. Let's go details. Released in 1987. Okay, so it's got a little history on it. That's okay. Defeat the title champion 10 times in a row, face Great Puma. A 2-player game. You'll play the best of 3 matches in untimed rounds. Okay, so it does give you a little backlog. See, I thought... See, even games like Tecmo Bowl, if they had matchmaking, like, why can't you have... Again, yeah, and you know what? This just hit me in the head like a ton of bricks. I said at the beginning of the stream, it's peer-to-peer. There's no servers. So, Nintendo, get your shit together. Get some servers and have... This is a hit. This here is a hit if you get servers and have matchmaking. I'd love to be able to just say, I feel like playing somebody at Tecmo Bowl and going online and playing Tecmo Bowl. I can't tell you, as a kid who grew up in the 80s and 90s, how many friends I made just by... I mean, you'd go over to a kid's house after school and you'd know each other from school or something like that, or you'd meet, you play hockey together or something like that. You go over to someone's house and say, oh, I got Nintendo, and you throw a game in, and the bonding that goes on during that time, a lot of my friendships that still stick to this day were started with playing Nintendo games. It's a shame they don't have matchmaking. If they included matchmaking, it would make things so much easier. I can move the... Okay, so I can put these games by how I want them showing up in my... So I can... One thing I'm going to do, actually, I want all my black box games at the top. These ones can go down. I think that's kind of a cool feature. You can organize them how you want them, so you don't always have to. If you had like as this service grows, if you had like a top 10 or top 20 games that you wanted to play, you can at least organize them how you'd like to, so that you're not scrolling through a bunch of games to find what you want. I like that feature. Again, Nintendo hits a lot of things perfectly on the head, except when it comes to running. I can't understand why, when you have systems like the original Xbox, that run games so perfectly on an online service, and 20 years later, Nintendo comes out with their online service and they can't run it properly. To me, that's a cop-out. There, I like the looks of that a lot better. I'm a sucker for black box games. I actually collect them. I've got a lot of them in my set complete in box. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them. I will play some Legend of Zelda while I chit chat about this service. The phone app has to go. As far as I'm concerned, and I'm sorry again, there's a lot of talking in this stream versus gameplay. But again, this was more designed to show the service, how it works. And my 2 cents. Oh, shit. It's been so long since I played Zelda. I actually have this game sealed in its box on the NES. NES? The NES. It was one of the first in-box games complete that I bought. In my collection. I have a lot of nostalgia for The Legend of Zelda, and I wanted a complete in box, but somebody that I ran into at a game store happened to have this game complete and sealed, and they gave me a good price on it, so I took it. Now I've got ROMs, I've got the cartridge loose, I've got other ways of playing it, so for me a complete in-box copy sealed was a great add to my collection, because I mean I just have so much love for this game. This game really is what got me into video gaming as a kid. I had an Atari, I played Super Mario Brothers and liked it, but Zelda was just, I didn't own the game, I rented it a lot, but Zelda just gave me the ability to explore and to use my imagination as a kid. You have the sprites on the screen, but your vision of them, between the Zelda cartoon, the really bad Zelda cartoon that came out, as well as the Captain N version of Zelda, I mean, they had so many cool ways of depicting Zelda that you kind of had your imagination at your fingertips to think about what this world would look like, aside from being a top-down 8-bit game. I quite enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. So I'm just trying to bring a little positivity into this stream, aside from the negativity of Nintendo's service and how shitty it is. I've been trying to kind of stay away from videos. There's been a lot of salt online of people complaining, people saying they don't want it, people saying why they don't want it. And to be completely honest, I get it at this point. Because Nintendo has done a bad job of not only stating what they're doing with their service, but again, the peer-to-peer, if you're paying for online, there's no reason in the world you can't have dedicated servers. Even if you want to charge me more, Nintendo, charge me a little more than $20 a year. Have dedicated servers and have matchmaking. I would love to connect with some new people without having to have them on my friend list. I get a lot of the things. I try to do this two-sided coin when I talk about Nintendo, because you have to look at the environment in which Nintendo produces content. They're what's considered a family-friendly gaming company. So they probably don't want matchmaking for the sense of kids getting into trouble online, talking to people they shouldn't be. If they're talking to friends only, then, you know, they're only giving their information out to friends and isn't complete strangers. I get those aspects of it. But at the same time, you have to get in line with today's market. If you're going to charge people a monthly fee or an annual fee, you have to be able to provide a service, and not just Nintendo ROMs. I am enjoying the fact that I don't have to pay for these games to have them on my console. I don't have to buy them for the 7 millionth time. I can just play them at my leisure. What I'm curious of is, with Nintendo saying they're growing the library, is it going to be like Netflix where they take games off the library after so long? Or once the games are on there, do they stay? Are we going to get to the point where there's 600 and some odd NES games and we have a complete licensed library at our fingertips? The one thing I'm wondering about, at one point I heard them mention, rumor mill, that Super Nintendo was coming to this. I'd love to be able to play Mario Kart online with my friends. The original Mario Kart. I'd love to be able to play, Mortal Kombat and all these other games online with my friends on Super Nintendo. But the fact that there's no matchmaking and that you have to have someone on your friends list to play these games online. I thought this stream tonight was going to be showing off the online service and playing some random people online and really starting a new love for old games. But Nintendo has once again proven to me that they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to an online service. That I have to have someone on my friend list. So if I want to play my games online, I have to have a friend who has the same service. And who's paying the $4 a month or the $20 a year or whatever it is in order to play with them online and play these games. To me, that's a cop-out. It's a total cop-out for Nintendo. I like having the portable ROMs. I like having those on the go. I like that I don't have to download the games. They're on my system. Even if I have to check in every so often to validate my membership, I'm okay with that. Because, again, that's worked with programs or companies that offer things like Spotify. I have to do that with my Spotify account. And I understand why they do it as well. I mean, people are complaining about it on the Switch. I think, since Sony has a method where your account goes up and then your stuff just isn't accessible anymore, there are ways Nintendo could do it a little bit better, but I still understand the method behind it. I just think that I really think that they've dropped the ball on the fact that it's peer-to-peer and not dedicated servers. I really wish they would have done dedicated servers. I would have liked to have played some people online tonight. I would have liked to have... I would have liked to have had the ability to check this out. But again, I'd have to add people to friends lists and get people moving on here and fill rooms and everything else. I don't know, Nintendo. You guys have really... I mean, this is a good selection of games. Mainly the black box titles. Like, there's 3, 6, 7, 10. 10 of the 30 games are black box. And out of the black box set, there's only 30 games in that series. Now, they're obviously not going to bring Stack Up or probably Gyromite to the table with this. Unless Gyromite, again, because of the two-player aspect, Gyromite would work on here, and it would be great to be able to play that online, matchmaking with somebody, and have somebody help you through the game. There's so much potential for this. Bring Super Nintendo to this, bring other systems to it. If there was a way to bring GameCube to it and play GameCube games online, again, if Nintendo wanted to charge me a premium for that, I'd be happy with that. This is essentially Netflix for NES games. Bring your other catalogs, your other systems. Nintendo, you're not making money on those games anymore. So bring them all here. Show us why you shut down all these emulation sites. Give us perfect handheld emulation of old consoles that we can play online. If I could play Mario Kart Double Dash online with people, Even friends, no matchmaking, just friends list. Everybody I know that has a Switch would jump on that. I could play Luigi's Mansion on the go, and I know there's a third one coming out next year at some point. But the possibilities are endless. Even if they only brought Nintendo licensed first-party titles for the first little while to prove what they're bringing out and to prove their concept, I'd jump all over it. Even if it was $60 a year at that point, but they had GameCube, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo. And again, you don't need the whole catalog. Do what you're doing with NES. Add a couple games a month, but give us more. I'm thinking that they will eventually, maybe not GameCube or Nintendo 64, but I've heard rumor of Super Nintendo. I don't know. Look how quickly that starts up. I just click on it and it's running. I like that. I get that the reason it does that again is because you're not running it online. When you sign up for Nintendo Switch Online, it downloads the NES Online app. So, unless they found a way to stream it, like Netflix, you're not going to see games that are larger in size. So you're not going to see GameCube, you're not going to see even some Nintendo 64 games because of the size they take up versus NES and Super Nintendo games. Or Game Boy, for that matter. I'd love to see Game Boy on here. Original Game Boy, Game Boy Advance. You've got a portable console. Add that stuff. Give me a reason to play this Nintendo. I love my NES games. I've got so much nostalgia for NES. But in the words of Rick and Morty, get your shit together. Like, just get it together. Give us something to be excited about. And people will buy it. Like, I don't see anybody arguing. You think about it right now. If Nintendo had voice chat, if they had online onboard voice chat through a game, like a headset or anything, and it has worked with games like Fortnite, so they can't say that it's not possible. But if they had that, and if they had a larger catalog of games at your fingertips, and an automatic system that knew whether or not your account was valid, so that you didn't have to check in. If they had all of those things lined up and all the stars aligned and it was a perfect universe, think of how successful this online service would be. The potential that it's got. I don't think Nintendo of America had anything to do with the concept for this online service. This had to have been strictly a Japan thought process, and the reason I say that is because a lot of the business practices are in place from Japan. The you must have your friends on your list, the checking in and everything, they do that with a lot of their consoles over there, even to this day. I think really what needs to happen is, and I hate to say it because I love Nintendo, I'm a fan of Nintendo, I think what needs to happen is a bit of a customer revolt where people say, unless you're going to give us something better, we're not in. And I think that's essentially what's going to happen, because I'll tell you right now, I've been defending this all last week, ever since I said I was going to stream this. Because everyone kept saying to me, Nintendo Switch Online sucks, it's going to be an abomination, it's horrible, I don't like that you have to check in for your games, and I kept saying, yeah, but you can play them online, like, it's... And I was thinking I'd be able to hit a button on 2-player or something, and it would find me a match, it would find me a lobby with people waiting to play. And I didn't even think about it because I've been touting about peer-to-peer, and how I don't like that there's no dedicated servers. I should have been smart enough in hindsight to see that it has to be people on your friends list, which I think is just terrible. I can't stress it enough. I know I keep circling around the same topics, but I honestly was excited for this. I thought it was going to be something to get excited for nostalgia's sake. I mean, I've been playing my games on the Switch online since I got it. Games like Mario Kart, Splatoon. So, like, I saw how that service was working. I already knew what to expect from that. I was disappointed with the voice chat, but again, that's more of a Japanese business practice, the way they've set it up, that this is the way they thought it's going to work best, that's how they're going to stick to it, that's how it's going to work. There's no strafing from their plan. And that's where I say it doesn't, like, I feel like if Nintendo America had their 2 cents, you'd have more of an online service that people are more akin to, that people are more used to. I don't know. I'm disappointed so far. Disappointed with the service, not the games. They've got great games at launch here. I really would have liked matchmaking. I keep beating that like a dead horse. I'm not so sure if I'm going to pay 20 bucks a year for this. I don't play a lot of games online. I would like NES games to take on the go with me when I go out and things like that. So, I mean, I don't know. One thing that I've noticed that was in the update, and I'm not sure if you need Nintendo Switch Online for this feature, but you can now game share your games. So what I mean by that is that you can have non-primary accounts. So if a friend of mine has, let's say he just went and bought Breath of the Wild, and I don't have Breath of the Wild, I can go onto his account, he can give me his email and password and his login, and I can put his account under my console as a non-primary account, and I can download his games from his history on the eShop onto my console, but I have to be signed into his account to play it. So if there was a game I wanted to play and he wanted to play, but we didn't want to pay full price for it, I could forward him $30 and say, here's half the cost. You play between these hours, I'll play between these hours, and we both get to play the game. I think that's handy. I like that. If I have more than one Switch in my house for my kids, it's nice because, again, they can share games and one can play another one when the other isn't. Like, downloadable games, not cartridge-based, obviously. So all their cartridge games, I mean, they could play those one at a time anyway. But anything digital, they could log into the other account and play, which I like. I'm not sure if you need the online in order to do that. But in terms of anything else, like, again, it's such a tough sell for me from a nostalgia point of view. And it makes me mad because Nintendo's banking on that from me. That's what they want, is they want me to be into it for nostalgia. And pay the $20 a year, but you're essentially paying for nothing. I hate to say it that way. I've got Launchbox, I've got a hacked Wii. I've got these games that I've purchased a million times over on the Wii, on the Wii U, on my 3DS. Like Mario 3, I've got Zelda, I've got Super Mario Brothers, I've got Excitebike, I've got on my 3DS. Donkey Kong. I mean, Pro Wrestling, no. Ice Hockey, I've got on my Wii. Dr. Mario, I've got, like... It's just... It's a shame. I don't want to say it's bad. It's just a shame. I was really excited for matchmaking. No, there's no matchmaking that way. No, I don't want to do this. Go back. There. No. Friends online. Hold on a sec. Okay, one of my friends is online. Let's see if they want to play online. Let's see if we can run an online game. Fuck you, Nintendo. Get your shit together. What the hell's going on here? It says he's online with Nintendo Entertainment System. I can't message him either? I don't want to use voice chat. Get out of here with that. Search again. It's so frustrating. I don't know. I mean, these games are great. The way they're set up is great. There's no lag. There's no problems. The colors are good. I mean, it's going to work good in handheld. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, Nintendo, you've kind of limited my stream here because, again, I keep complaining about the same goddamn things because that's all there is. There's nothing to it. Like, I don't know what to tell you, Nintendo. I love your stuff. I'm a fan of this. I've got every Nintendo console. I've got over 2,000 Nintendo games in my collection. Physical games. But you make it so hard to... That's what she said, by the way. You make it very difficult to want to support you as a company. Like, the anti-YouTube policies, pulling down ROM sites for shit like this. I mean, it's just crazy. Now, this is a game I had on the NES as a kid, and I played many, many times, many hours. The one thing I do like that I will say on the Switch controller, the smaller buttons are actually really nice for this game. They're very close together, so jumping and shooting is actually better than it was on the NES controller, I'll be completely honest. And it's very responsive again, so it works really well. Like, I'd love on a road trip to sit and play Ghosts and Goblins like this for hours, you know? Like, it's good on that end, and I think that's the problem, is Nintendo knows that. Nintendo knows they're going to get guys like me who love their NES games who say, okay, well, there's no virtual console, but I can take it on the go, I'll pay the $20 a year. It's cheaper in the long run for me to do that than to pay monthly. So they're going to get all these one-year subscriptions based on playing NES ROMs. That, again, I don't know. I would have been okay with paying $20 a year for NES ROMs if I could have matchmake. That's horse shit. And you can't tell me again that it's a problem to have matchmaking. If these games are playable online between friends, why can't you have matchmaking? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not happy with it. Let's try some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I just want to see if the online servers work just as well for games, or if it's faster, if there's anything, we'll put that through the ringer. I'm disappointed at the fact that I got the peer-to-peer on Wii U with Mario Kart 8. I understood why it was that way. Again, Nintendo tries to make all these excuses that, well, it's the way our online service works and everything, but you think with all the complaining, all the years, everything that's been going on, that they would get it together. Like, can you imagine what's going to happen when Smash Brothers comes out? I don't want to be doing peer-to-peer. I want online servers. Like here, I can go worldwide here. Why can't I do that with the NES? I'm beating a dead horse because I keep complaining about the same thing, but it's just so aggravating. I really love Nintendo, but I hate to love them sometimes. It just bothers me that they're a company that do so well because of their first-party titles. Any Nintendo console that's sold well in the last... I shouldn't even say that sold well. They're consoles that do bad. Everybody buys them for the first-party titles. I don't understand why time after time after time Nintendo comes out with a new console and they just give everybody the finger and say, nope, this is how we're going to do it, and if you don't like it, then too bad, because we know we're still going to sell our Marios, we're still going to sell our Zeldas, we're still going to sell everything else that's first party that everybody loves, we're going to sell our Animal Crossings and our Splatoons, so whether you're happy or not, you know, this is the way it is. I've been so... Again, I know I'm taking a lot of this stream to be vocal and talk and probably bore people. Shredder, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, buddy. But if there's one thing I always liked, it was when the Xbox One first was announced. The whole water cooler talk and everything else. They got canned so bad after that presentation. Their pre-orders didn't go through. People weren't standing behind their systems. There was a huge problem that Microsoft was forced to change their policies because people were outraged. People voted with their wallets. And it was the best day in gaming because even though a lot of people said, hey, too little too late when Microsoft changed everything, it got results. And that's the problem I have with Nintendo here, is that Nintendo, they're just going to keep giving everybody the finger until, unfortunately, everybody says to Nintendo, hey, unless you're going to actually compete with other consoles, I'm not in for this. And that's the problem. The fact that if I buy this online service, I can't matchmake with... Oh, Shredder, thanks for the cheers, buddy. I can't matchmake NES games online with people. Like, I'm sorry, man, but that is a very standard feature that should be in place. I shouldn't have the right to play online only with people in my friends lists. And I'm sorry, I don't know how much they're going for in the US, but in Canada, the NES controllers, the two that dock onto the sides of the Switch, I know they're online exclusive, but they're $74.99 or something for two NES controllers, which is horse shit. Especially, again, if I want to play them with, say, my wife. Well, I can use two Joy-Cons. I don't need those goddamn controllers for $75. They should be a lot cheaper than $75.99. Shredder, thank you for the cheers again. Oh, man, you're really coming in with them now. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the love. Let's go for Rainbow Road. Why not? Let's see what people want to play. So yeah, we're testing out the Mario Kart 8 servers, and then we'll go back and dick around with some NES games. But again, the fact that there's no matchmaking just drives me nuts. It's so sad. I mean, Nintendo, again, did such a terrible job touting what... Shredder, Jesus Christ, buddy. I'm going to have Ric Flair hanging around my screen all night. Thank you for all the bits. But Nintendo's been touting this online service for months now, and even the latest Direct didn't even discuss your online. It said you can play these games online. It didn't say they must be on your friends list. It didn't say there was peer-to-peer and no matchmaking. That drives me nuts. Absolutely nuts. And I've been defending online for the last, at least the last week, while people have been complaining, saying, "Oh, I have to check in, I have to do all these things." And I kept saying, "Guys, it's not as bad as you think. We're gonna have Nintendo games online. I can play Tecmo Bowl with randoms. Like, it's gonna be great." And now this, like, basic NES ROMs that I have to have people on my friend list to play online with. I think that's such a cop-out. So lazy. Like, up yours, Nintendo. Like, get your shit together. Really. How are you, Shredder? Welcome to my, it's not really a stream, it's more of a rant session. Because I'm so miffed at what Nintendo has done with this online service. I really, and I'll be completely honest to everybody who's watching this, I really had my hopes high in the sense of what we were getting for what we were paying. I'm not, anybody who knows me or has been to my other streams knows, I'm not a huge online guy. I don't play a lot of games online. So, to me, the online service was nothing more than what I was getting in terms of nostalgia. I was getting NES games on the go, as well as games I could play online. Now, granted, no one's taken that away from me. I can play them online. But I have to play with people on my friends list, and that's okay. It's just, it means that my friends also have to buy into your stupid online service in order for me to play games online. You need matchmaking. Please, please, please patch that shit. Find a way to get matchmaking in there. Shredder, Jesus, buddy, you keep filling up the screen. Woo! All those Ric Flair. Oh. God, you're flooding my chat, man. Oh, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Shredder. Shredder, if anybody's watching this, Shredder is one of my regulars. He's also a subscriber. Always great having him around. Showing love. Flooding my chat. Slowing my stream down. That's awesome. Really appreciate it, buddy. Okay, so let's go back into Nintendo Entertainment System Online. We'll see if any of my friends are playing online yet, if I can join them. So as you can see again, here we are in the menu. These are the 30 games, or 20 games, sorry, at launch that were offered from Nintendo. I've organized them obviously different. Again, if you're just joining the stream, the cool thing is again, if I hit the Y button, I can move this game to anywhere in the menu I want. So I can keep my favorites at the top. I can organize them how I want to, which is kind of nice. The only thing I don't like is that yeah, this is the list of the games available right now. They're going to be adding 3 every month. And they do have a list out for what's coming till the end of the year, and I forget what games those are. I know Metroid is one of them. The only thing I don't like, again, Shredder, I know you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, that God, you could almost make a counter for every time I've said it. There's no matchmaking. I thought I was going to be able to go on and play, like, Tecmo Bowl. Or ice hockey. I could go on and say, okay, I want to play online, and it would find me a match. It does not do that. You have to have someone on your friends list wanting to play this game with you at the time that you want to play online. And I think that is absolute horse shit. It's just ridiculous. Like, they told everyone, online play. These games are remade for online play. So I was excited thinking that when I start this game, like it just said singles and doubles match, I figured there'd be a tab for online match. That they would have altered it to have that feature. The other thing I don't like, and again, it was a small gripe that I had at the beginning of this stream, at the very bottom of the screen, it tells me the minus is my select button, plus is the start, and when I press to get into my menu. I don't like that I can't make that go away. Like, I just want a clean screen without a bunch of instructions on the bottom, and I can't even get rid of that. Like, I don't understand why Nintendo just can't give people what they want. There's a lot of companies like that. You know, you've got people who complain and say, here's what we want. Here's what we want in this next game. Here's what we want out of, you know, this sequel. Here's what the fans are saying is going to be great. And all these studios, when it comes to movies, when it comes to games, when it comes to shit like this, they just go, well, here's our take on it. And, hey, be true to yourself. Do what you have a passion for. That's fine. But at some point in time, just give people what they fucking want. Like, it's not that difficult to give people an online service that works. Especially when, in comparison, other consoles do it without a problem. Jesus, Shredder. That's a lot of bits, buddy. Thank you. Oh my god, still flooding. Shredder, you are one of a kind, my man. I have a constant flood of Ric Flair on the screen. Much love for the donation in bits. Woo! Oh, I'm hoping to see Ric Flair a lot during the charity stream on November 3rd when we do our 24-hour charity auction. Or charity stream, sorry, not auction. For the Children's Miracle Network. Details are below my Twitch channel and my panels. I got some awesome prizes up for raffle this year, including a $3,000 Alienware 17.5-inch gaming laptop, 5 lifetime subscriptions to Launchbox, which will get you these NES games without having to pay for Nintendo Online. And it runs a lot cleaner. Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, this, again, has no lag. It's pretty solid emulation. And again, the games start as soon as you click on them, which is great. It does have save states, which is nice. Speaking of Nintendo, I'm also raffling off in that 24-hour stream a copy of Little Samson on the NES for everyone's, for one person's enjoyment, and hopefully not for their bank account. Jesus Christ, the Ric Flair, woo! You're up to 350 bits so far, Shredder. Jesus, that's generous, my friend. Thank you very much. And they just keep coming. Ric Flair's gonna be sitting there with strep throat by the end of the night, screaming so much. Even games like River City Ransom, I was hoping to play that online and just, you know, do matchmaking and jump into a game. I don't know. Again, I don't play a lot of online games, but I was almost hoping that this service was going to get me a new love for online and get me playing online, because, again, as I said at the beginning of the stream, a lot of my friendships from my childhood started with a bunch of us sitting in someone's basement playing NES. This is a bit of a travesty. He's going to need a washer for the throat. Absolutely, he will. I don't know. I love these games. I'm so nostalgic, but I almost just don't want to give Nintendo my money out of spite at this point. Like, I want these games on my Switch. I just don't know if I really want to pay for them, because that's telling Nintendo that this is okay. And I'm honestly thinking I might not. I might just hold off. And what's funny is, before this stream, I actually tried to purchase a one-year option for the online, and there was an error with the store and it wouldn't let me. So I'm almost glad that it did that. I'm a little disappointed. I haven't seen 2K18 yet. I meant to get a glimpse of it today. But I'll tell you, if I'm not getting Nintendo Switch Online, that's an extra $20 I can put towards getting 2K18. Oh. These black box games, I love these games. I love all the black... I hope that they bring... Yokozuna looks real... Does he take up 3/4 of the screen? He's big. Absolutely, he's big. I'd like to see the rest of the black box games come to this. I'd like to see Gyromite. Again, for online purposes, I'd like to see 2-player Gyromite. Oh, there's different Yokozunas too. Nice. I'd like to see the rest of the black box games, you know, even like Mach Rider Slalom, as silly as those games are, I'd like to see them all come. Urban Champion. I guess you're not going to see Duck Hunt or Wild Gunman. But again, it'd be nice if they came out with a way of making some kind of light gun for the NES work on here. Geez, Shredder, those cheers are still coming in, brother. It's yeah, I'd like to see a lot of games from the NES come here, from a portable standpoint. But Blades of Steel, I'd like to see Blades of Steel on here. I'd like to see, like, it's got so much potential if Nintendo just adds matchmaking. I don't know. Maybe Nintendo will hear everyone's complaints and take it properly and patch this. If they had matchmaking on this, I would love it. But the fact that my friends have to be wanting to play online for me to play ice hockey 2 players is ridiculous. It's I can play ice hockey 2-player on my Wii at home with people locally. Shredder with another cheer. Jesus Christ, thank you, brother. I don't know what to... Let's play some Super Mario Brothers. I'll see how... I keep saying there's no input lag, and I'm going to put that to the test with this, because on the Wii U, the input lag for Super Mario Brothers is horrendous. How does 2 players work again? Okay, so I'll just pause this while I explain it. I thought these games were just redesigned for online play. So it's not that way. It turns out that if you want to play these games online, you and a friend, they have to be on your friends list. Both have to have Nintendo Online service, and then you both have to get into a game, like a peer-to-peer game. There's no servers. You're leeching off someone else's internet connection, or they're leeching off of yours, and you play the games 2-player. Now, it's still cool that you can play these games over the internet, multiplayer, but what I don't like is that there's no matchmaking. There's like... I keep beating a dead horse here, saying I would have loved to have gone on to Tecmo Bowl and just found a match. And that was the one thing I kept defending when everyone was saying, oh, this service is going to be shit. It's terrible. Nintendo's giving everyone the finger. I said, nah, they've added online to their NES games. I've got them on the go. Even if I have to check in, it's not horrible because I can matchmake. I can play my games. Nope. Nintendo once again screwed everyone and just said, no, we're going to do what Nintendo wants to do, and you guys can either get with the program or get lost. And I don't like that. I don't like it one bit. I think Nintendo, again, I'll excuse the shitty voice chat. I'll excuse some peer-to-peer stuff. But at some point in time, Nintendo, it's 2018, get some dedicated servers. Like, I love that these games, they run flawlessly. There's no lag, there's no input lag, there's no... There isn't even any cutting when I'm running there, or tearing, like there is when you emulate sometimes. the ROMs run perfectly. I just want matchmaking. I would pay $20 a year for matchmaking, and I've even said I'd pay $60 a year if Nintendo brought their other platforms with online play. Now, as I said earlier, when you download Nintendo Online and the NES Online, you download the software, which I'm assuming downloads all the ROMs, so that you're not streaming the ROMs, you're playing them off your system. So I'm assuming you won't see things like GameCube, only because of the file sizes, unless they come up with a way to stream them. But if I could play Mario Kart Double Dash, or, Mario Party or something like that online with people, like, I'd pay $60 a year for Nintendo Online. It would be a fantastic service at that point. Nintendo has potential to really grip the market and really, you'd get it for matchmaking. Yeah, I'd love it if it had matchmaking. I would definitely sign up to this if it had matchmaking. It's a very simple thing to put on here. Where's your Ric Flair? I don't know. Maybe you killed him, man. Like, I don't think it's a big wine fest to ask for matchmaking. It's nothing difficult to do. The original Xbox had matchmaking, and that was in 1998. Like, there's no excuse. There's no excuse Nintendo can give people. Oh, here he comes again. Well, Ric Flair still lives. Thank you, Shredder. I really appreciate all the bits. I can't thank you enough. When I upload this to YouTube later, I'm going to have to make sure to put a lot of Ric Flair in the video description. That's all people are going to hear on YouTube is Ric Flair screaming. But that's okay. That's a good thing. That's part of the reason I use Ric Flair. I love hearing that. Woo! Folks, make sure to join us tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 8:30 Pacific Time, we're going to be running a Bobo's Big Adventure. Thursday, we're going to be playing the fan-made He-Man arcade beat-em-up. And then Friday is going to be Retro Request Live. I will be giving away my pair of Beats headphones on Friday night's stream to one lucky follower. You must be a follower in order to qualify. If you're not a follower of my Twitch channel yet, make sure to smash that follow button and get in on all the goodness and get yourself in for our draws. Just my way of saying thanks for spending some time here, for coming by. Oh, yeah, so, again, there's no input lag on this, which is nice. It runs very smooth. I will give it an A+ for that. It's one-to-one like the NES, which I haven't seen in a while, in comparison to things like Virtual Console games. Even on the Wii, there was input lag. So the fact that they've done it on here without is pretty nice. They've obviously fine-tuned it to run properly. Shit, I thought I went out of mushroom in it. God, that Ric Flair still going. Oh, Shredder, thank you, brother. Really, thank you. You're going to give me enough bits, it's going to pay for my Nintendo Online subscription if I want to, deal with a year of horse shit. How much is Zelda for NES? You mean on the online service? Or do you mean to buy like a physical copy, or what do you mean by how much is Zelda? The cartridge? It varies. Last time I checked, I think you can get just the cartridge, depending on the condition. You can get the cartridge for, I believe, about $20, 20, 25 bucks. An inbox copy, I'm not sure what it goes for these days. The only copy, like I have a cartridge copy that I bought ages ago. And I'm just looking at mine right now. I've got a sealed copy inbox in a protector. I was talking about that earlier. I got that for nostalgia's sake. I wanted that in my set. It was one of my favorite games from my childhood, so I really wanted that game complete in box. And the guy that I was buying it off of happened to have one sealed that he sold me a while back. I'm not going to say how much I paid for it because it was a lot. But, well, it was a lot by my standards. But it was a lot less than a sealed copy goes for. Significantly a lot less. The guy basically told me, the guy ran a shop and he said, pay me what I'm into it for, and it's yours. Because he knew how much I loved it. He wanted to do me a favor, and I spent a lot of money at his store. So he sold it to me for what he paid for it, which was very little compared to what it is actually worth. And he knows that I'm not selling it for a profit, so it was going into my collection. So that's the other reason. If he knew I was going to flip it or something like that, then he would have had me pay full price. But I believe a sealed graded copy goes for somewhere around $2,000 the last time I checked. It could be higher. I'm not sure. I haven't checked NES prices in a while because I stopped collecting NES games. Just because the prices got so stupid. What haven't we played yet? We haven't played ice hockey yet. We can play that. I used to have this game as a kid. I love this game. A used copy, like I said, you can probably get a cartridge for anywhere between $20 to $25 would be my guess. God, I suck at ice hockey. I used to be so good at it. You wanted to give it to someone as a gift? You know what? You should get them. And I think I wasn't sure if you were on this stream when I showed everyone. The new Zelda Encyclopedia. It's a giant ass book. Were you on the stream when I showed that off? If they're big Zelda fans, I'm just gonna move my my laptop for a second here, and I'll step out of camera for a second. So if your friend is big into Zelda, one thing I bought recently. that I would definitely recommend. I never really go off camera like this during my streams, but I'll do it this time, just because it's so awesome. It is called it's a special edition Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia. This book, if you've heard of the Hyrule Historia, this book is more current than the Hyrule Historia. It comes in this really cool NES style case for the book, but it has to be the limited edition. Limited edition. It's but it looks just like the gold cartridge of the game. The pages are gold as well. The back even looks like the back of the NES cartridge, which is really cool. It's basically got the whole history of Zelda in this book up to, I believe it's whatever came out just before Breath of the Wild. The last game to come out, I believe it was Twilight Princess HD. It's very cool from a nostalgia point of view. The Nintendo case is made out of the same material as the NES game cases, but it also comes with an instruction manual that has the drawings and the artwork again from the original Legend of Zelda, and just a description of what's in the book. It's very cool. It's pricey. The book sits, I believe, although it depends where you get it. I got mine on a Canadian site called Chapters Indigo. They're kind of like Barnes & Noble in Canada. They're our big chain. And I got mine for $50. It's regular, I believe, 100 or 120. But check Amazon, check all sorts of places. Even just hit the shopping tab with the Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia under Google. You can always find a sale on it. There's always somebody selling them for around the $50 mark. But they are discontinuing it soon. So if you're getting a gift for someone, I would recommend that over the cartridge, just because it's new material. It's something for people to get their hands on. It's very cool. Sorry again for going off stream, folks. I usually don't go off the camera like that and grab things and spend my stream talking about things like that, but Nintendo's kind of limited. It's not so expensive. Again, it's like I said, the book runs about 120 regular, but you can find it for 50 on average, I would say. If you check Google, just Google Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia, limited edition, hardcover, and you'll find one on sale. I believe Amazon had it for 50. I got mine for 50. I would have happily paid the $120. Oh, it's all good, brother. I'm happy to show you that. It's really something good for Zelda fans. If you're buying it for somebody who really likes The Legend of Zelda, I would recommend it. It basically tells you everything you need to know about all the games. The history, the artwork, stories behind it, the design of the game. It's a really in-depth encyclopedia, which I liked. It's quite the project. Shit, I screwed that up nicely. But yeah, make sure you don't pay full price, even though it's worth it. You can find it for a lot less. The person wants to play the game? Well, my advice then, find the cartridge for 20 and buy them the book on the side. Oh, I can't use the thumbstick. I'm using the thumbstick to move these, but it moves so fast with the thumbstick, I keep screwing this up. Oh, Mario. See, I like how instant that is, that I can quit out of a game and it just starts another one in 2 seconds. Like, look at that. It's so quick. Buy the person the game. He's not going to cherish the book, I don't think, like you or I would. Well, buy him the cartridge and then you buy the book for yourself, brother. I don't know if I'm batting or if I'm pitching. Hang on a second here. I'm pitching. You really want that now? I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to throw it out there and make you have to spend money. It's a cool book. Like, it's very well done. I didn't even know it existed, and then I went on YouTube one day and somebody was doing a review of it. And it just blew my mind. I had to go and get it immediately. Mordecai, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, brother. As you can see, Shredder is flooding my stream with bit cheers. If you can't get your chat in, I apologize. Oh, out. Love seeing those max power icons, though. Always makes my day. Oh, God, I suck at baseball. Okay, game selection. What haven't we played yet? We haven't played soccer. We haven't played Excite Bike. We could play some Excite Bike. Yeah, Nintendo really needs to up their game with this service. I honestly don't think I'm going to be subscribing to it after my trial. As much as I want NES games, I love Excite Bike. I still love it. It's one of those games that I'll always love, I think. Excite Bike Arcade is coming out for Arcade Classics on the Switch, I believe later this month. I think next week, actually, if I understand correctly, which I may pick that one up. But in terms of this service, like, I don't think I'll be... Brady, what's going on? Yeah, you got some competition there, Brady. Like, as much as I love these NES games, I just don't think I can support what Nintendo's doing. I don't know. The games, though, again, and I apologize if this is getting boring for people on the stream. I keep saying it, but the games do run flawlessly, and they do run instantly. So I just quit out of a game. If I click on another one, it starts instantly. There's no input lag. The emulation's pretty solid, which is nice. I just wish there was matchmaking. I don't understand why you can't get matchmaking on these games. It wouldn't be difficult. I don't know, maybe if enough people get Switches that watch this stream and the service takes off, maybe one night I'll do retro games and we'll play with subscribers or something like that, or people in the chat. I don't know. We'll figure something out as time goes on, but I can tell you, like, this is a good selection of games too. I'm just unimpressed with the fact that I thought I was going to be able to play ice hockey with matchmaking and balloon fight with matchmaking and all these games. River City Ransom. I really wanted to play that one online with somebody, and I can't. Because Nintendo sucks. Gradius. Love this game. Or Gradius. I don't know how people pronounce it. I always called it Gradius. It's basically Life Force. Shit. Folks, make sure you join us tomorrow night for a Bobo's Big Adventure at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Time. It's going to be a fun one. I have played that game from beginning to end. I love it. I played it so long ago, I completely forgot about it. Big shout out. I believe it was Shredder who suggested that one last week. Big shout out for helping me remember such an awesome game. Looking forward to streaming that one tomorrow night. Thursday is going to be He-Man Masters of the Universe arcade beat-em-up fan project that we'll be playing through. And then Friday is going to be Retro Request Live. We will be giving away those Beats headphones on Friday as well to one lucky follower. So if you're not a follower of the channel and you're having a good time, make sure you hit that follow button. You must be a follower to enter, or to be entered into the draw. Just my way of saying thanks for stopping by. Bobo's going to be fun. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. You know what? I seen that game on James and Mike Mondays. I think about a year ago, or just over a year ago when it was on there. And I instantly downloaded it and played it. I actually went out. I've got an 8BitDo Super Nintendo Bluetooth controller. I actually went out and bought that controller the day I seen that on James and Mike Mondays, just so I could have a proper controller to play a Bobo with. It was such a good game. I'm really looking forward to streaming that one. Shit. As you can see, I suck at Gradius. Gradius. Whatever it's called. Yeah, so in terms of servers, Nintendo Online works well. Mario Kart 8 works the same as it always did. I'm assuming that Smash, when it comes out, is going to work flawlessly because you're, piggybacking off someone else's internet connection instead of having a server, unless Nintendo gets their shit together in the next few months and decides to have dedicated servers for their games. If I were to give this online service a grade, I'd give it a C-. You know what? Fuck that. I'm giving it like a D- at this point. Here's what they need. And I'm going to boil it all down here right now. They need matchmaking on the NES games. They need dedicated servers, and they need to improve their voice chat. They do those three things, and I'm in. I even said it before. If they want to charge $60 a year and have Super Nintendo, N64, possibly GameCube on here that I can play online. If I can play GameCube games online with people, through matchmaking, not through being on a friends list, then I'm sold. I'm sold on this product. I would happily pay more for that. At $20 a year, I was defending it, saying, you're getting all these NES games like Netflix, you can play them, you can play online, but I thought it was going to have matchmaking. It doesn't have matchmaking. You must have people on your friends list with the Nintendo Online service to play online with them. And that's still okay if you have a lot of friends on your friends list and you guys all have a love for Nintendo. That's a good thing. Then you're going to get your money's worth. But if you're just someone like me who doesn't play online very often, who was just looking forward to going online and playing NES games with randoms, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that until Nintendo gets their shit together and changes their mind. Shredder with more bit donations. Thank you, brother. Holy crap. What are you at so far? 855 bits. Jesus, pal. Really appreciate it. He should be. Let me, I usually keep my, my stuff turned down when I'm streaming so that it's not cutting into my mic, but I'll open up my OBS on the, on my laptop so I can tell if Ric Flair is making noise. He should be. You might have drowned him out, brother. There's something going on with Ric Flair. He's not doing his woo. But I'll get that fixed for the next stream. Yeah, that's. I mean, I'll play one more game and then I'm probably going to call it a night for the stream here because there's really not a lot more. I've been kind of drowning out this stream. There's not a lot more I can really do with such little options. I mean, again, I was going to turn this into a 3-hour stream playing online games with people. But there is nothing. Let's play some Donkey Kong. I mean, there's a good selection of games, and the games that are coming to the service by the end of the year are good games. God, they just need matchmaking. I wish to Christ Nintendo would just get matchmaking. That's one thing I was really looking forward to on this. That I think that's the biggest disappointment for me tonight was I really wanted matchmaking. And another thing, again, that's a small gripe. Allow me to get rid of these stupid instructions at the bottom of the screen whenever I'm playing an NES game. I know what the start or the plus and minus buttons do. Even if there was like a button to bring up a menu or something like that, fine. But I shouldn't have those instructions sitting there permanently. Like I'm playing a demo somewhere at a goddamn Walmart or something. That's annoying and frustrating to me. I don't care about the borders on the sides. I get that it's in 4.3 aspect. But get rid of the instructions at the bottom. I'm not retarded. Most people who've picked up a Switch controller know what the buttons do by now. Even the Arcade Archive games have instructions right when you start the game and then they disappear. Like they tell you this is what the game does, and if you pause the game it gives you the instructions again. Nintendo just... I don't know. I love them, but I hate them. They make good games, but they treat their fans like shit. Their fans and their support base. Hey, Night Bunny, what's going on? Walmart demos are the best. No, they're not. One game I'm debating getting, that I don't know if anybody would want to see it. Maybe you guys can give me some feedback in the chat before I end the stream. Next week on the 24th, PSVR is launching Creed. I believe it's called, like, Road to Paradise or something, or some weird title like that. But it's a boxing game for PSVR based off of the Apollo Creed movie. Or Adonis Creed, or whatever the guy's name was. Sylvester Stallone is in the game. He does train you and things like that, but you do boxing in VR. It's supposed to be a very realistic boxing game. It has cartoonish type graphics, but it looks to be really good. And a lot of the reviews, or the preview reviews so far are pretty solid. And I was thinking about streaming that next week. I don't know if anybody would be interested in seeing that on stream. I mean, I'm not in the best of shape, as you can see. From my puckish exterior, I'm not the most physically fit guy, but I'm pretty sure I could go a couple rounds in boxing on VR. Shredder, I love boxing. Yeah, I could check that out then, maybe. I mean, I love the Rocky movies. I'm a big fan of the Rocky movies. I've got Rocky Legends on the original OG Xbox. I actually got my copy signed by Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed. He was at a Comic-Con in my town a couple of years ago. And he actually laughed when I gave it to him. He said that was the coolest thing he's ever had somebody ask him to sign. He'd never actually signed a video game for anybody before. So he thought that was pretty wild. But I'm a huge Rocky fan. I didn't see Creed, but the game looks pretty solid. I fly into New York City all the time. Oh, that's awesome, man. Shit, I missed the platform. Yeah, the Rocky movies are some of my favorites. I love those movies. So yeah, I think I might stream Creed on PSVR next week. Not sure what else we're gonna do. Somebody had suggested Thunderdrome. or Terradrome, sorry. Thunderdome. I'm thinking of Mad Max. Somebody had suggested Terradrome. I am going to do a Halloween episode sometime in October where we're going to play mostly Halloween-oriented or horror-oriented games. Even for a couple nights, we'll be doing that. So I think I'm going to save it for that. I didn't realize it was a fighting game, but fighting games, they're a dime a dozen, and they only last about 15-20 minutes on average. Thunderdome. I'm thinking of Mad Max. I was watching Mad Max the other day, so I keep thinking of the Thunderdome. Yeah, Terradrome. Shredder, I think you suggested that, but I'm going to save that one for the Halloween stream just because I don't see it lasting a typical 2 or 3 hour stream. Yeah, if there's anything you guys want to see next week aside from Creed, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to do more retro games. Requests, I think I'm going to leave strictly for Friday nights. And I don't mind playing retro games during the week, but I might play one retro game, kind of like we did with Uninvited last night, where we play it from beginning to end, or just play it for as much as we can. I was thinking about doing Mario RPG at some point. That's one of my favorites. Maybe some Donkey Kong Country or something. I don't know. There's a few games I'm thinking about that I'd like to do on stream. But yeah, I'd also like to play something people are interested in watching. So if there's ever anything you guys want to see, let me know in the chat. Hit me up on Twitter, RealMaxPower. I've said time and time again, the best way... There goes Ric Flair. Now he's screaming. I've said time and time again, the best way to stay in touch with my streams or to get a hold of me, my Facebook page, Real Max Power. If you search on Facebook, Real Max Power, just like on the Twitch channel, you'll find my page. Like the page. I put all my contests in there, all my streams that are upcoming. If people want to suggest things, they can post things in there that they want to see, and keep up to date with everything that way. But on that note, that's going to do it for Nintendo Switch Online. Again, oh, Jesus, Shredder, thank you for all the cheers, man. My goodness. That's unbelievable. Join us again tomorrow night, 8:30 Pacific for... Jeez, that Ric Flair just keeps going off. 8:30 Pacific for Abobo's Big Adventure, which is going to be really fun. I think we're going to have a good time with that one. Masters of the Universe Beat 'em Up Arcade on Thursday. Retro Request Live Friday. Make sure to head over to that Facebook and join. Keep up to date with what we're doing and all of our contests. And throw some suggestions my way. Always happy to hear what you guys want to see and what you guys want to play. Big thank you to Shredder for all the bits tonight. And everybody who came out. I hope you guys had fun. Again, if I had to grade Nintendo Online service, I'm almost giving it an F at this point because they need to fix everything. They need online matchmaking. They need dedicated servers. They need a proper voice chat. It just is not worth $20 a year at this point. Unless you really want portable NES games. I mean, $20 a year isn't that bad to pay for a library that constantly updates, but again, look at that tip cup on the channel. It is full. It's overflowing. Jeez, Shredder, you really outdid yourself tonight. Thank you, brother. Thank you for all the love. Shredder, thank you. No, thank you, brother. I appreciate any kind of recognition like that. That almost gets me on a personal level. I really appreciate that people like what I do. It makes it worth it. It makes me happy to come back. So thank you again. Yeah, it's... I threw it up on there. I was curious how that worked when I first made affiliate, so I threw it up on there. I haven't taken it off yet, but yeah, the tip jar, it's overflowing. You guys have yourselves a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow night, 8:30 Pacific, for Abobo's Big Adventure. Shredder, thank you again for everything. You really made it a great night. Don't get Nintendo Online. Wait for it to improve. But thank you again to everybody. Thanks for coming out. Everybody have yourselves a wonderful night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.